Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MilsimUnits.com podcast. I'm your host, C. Brock, and with us here tonight, we have Lieutenant Colonel Naz from 2nd Battalion 6th Marines, or 2-6. Lieutenant Colonel, it's great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So, definitely looking forward to this one. We showcase a lot of different mil sims, a lot of different play styles and unit types. It's always good to talk with some U.S. Marines and see what they've got going on, in their mil sims. So, before we get started with 2-6, I want to learn a little bit more about you, Naz. I mean, can you tell us about your background in milsim? How did you get started?
Well, I always enjoyed Arma, but I was an Xbox player, you know, until, for like 10 years. Then Arma came out on Xbox in December or January of this year. And, once it came out, I wanted to, again, get in because all I did was play, Call of Duty or Mass Effect, Cyberpunk, games that weren't, you know, where, working with other people was not a thing. So, I got in, played a few games, vanilla and mods, and enjoyed it. And then I got into one of the servers for 82nd. I liked how everyone was blending with each other, working together. And as someone that was a Marine, and I've been out of the Marine Corps for 4 years, kind of hard to find, other people that are like you in the veteran community. So you kind of get to be friends with them in the game, which I never thought I'd be in a, you know, be able to do because I thought making friends through a Discord or a game was kind of stupid. But until I joined the 82nd Milsim, and to this day, after 8 months or 9 months later, they're my best friends in the game community, even real life. So yeah, that's my start of the Milsim.
Yeah, that's a great story. Coming from console, with Xbox, and then getting into Arma Reforger. I mean, that's the good thing now. I mean, Milsim is expanding beyond the PC community, and it has opened up so many different worlds for so many people. And just kind of getting together with like-minded individuals and sharing that camaraderie that you had in the core, and kind of bringing that to the outside world, to the gaming world. I mean, that's kind of like, that is the kind of Milsim, poster child story, if you will. Really good, and just interesting. It's great to hear that. I've heard it so many times before, and it's something great about what we got going here. So what about 2-6? Pretty hardcore unit. You guys are, based primarily in Reforger, but, kind of expanding beyond, those horizons in the Armorverse. Can you tell us about the story of how 2-6 got formed?
So 2-6 was founded by myself, uh, the other owners, Night of Dawn, and Lucalis, who is our CO, and I am the XO, but we still run, we found it as an owner group. And all three of us did meet each other in the 82nd. We were in the same, team, then squad, then platoon. Um, and, after you're done with your training in 82nd, you spend hours after, either playing in the public servers or just on Discord, just talking. And, we started out as machine gunners and team leaders and squad leaders, then platoon sergeants, platoon leaders, going up the ladder
Hmm.
in 82nd. And the more um, the longer we stayed and held higher billets, the more we realized that the structure was great, but the leadership was not really good because they were never there. And when we try to do something, basically had our hands behind our backs, saying like, "No, you shouldn't do that." I'm like, "But you guys are never there. Can't can't tell that what's good or what's bad because you guys never show up."
Hmm.
So Lucalis, who is the other owner, he is also a modder server provider, and I support him with his endeavors of being a server provider. He runs his own, runs many, or helps other servers. Has nodes outside the gaming community. He also, um, you know, runs servers for Gmod as well, and I think GTA. But I'm sorry, I'm a Bama fan. I've just watched them score. But yeah, so
Your priorities. Well, I mean,
oh yeah.
you said it, not in so many words, but presence makes or breaks leadership. I mean, that's like the number one kind of trait that you want to see in a leader. And it sounds like you guys, I mean, obviously you've got a huge presence, not only in 2-6, but in the greater community. But you worked your way up through the leadership, chain of command, experiencing all these different billets and working with people and bringing them together, bring the best out of them. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like you wanted more than what you were experiencing, and you guys had a plan to kind of bring about your vision. So, I mean, kind of grassroots, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, kind of, formation there. So that's pretty impressive. Now, like I said at the beginning, you guys are, yeah, I know you guys are into realism. You're into immersion. So I definitely consider you guys more on the hardcore Milsim side of the spectrum. So, tell us about how important realism is to your unit's gameplay. I mean, what's the line between immersion and having fun?
So yes, I mean, we like to when it's time to do things into private servers, run ops or deployments, want to keep it, immersive and realistic as possible because um, this unit did start because I did serve in the actual 2nd Battalion 6th Marines.
Mm,
That's why we named this unit as such. So personally, I take it pretty serious when we do ops or trainings where we don't really necessarily, uh, s- drive a hard nose on people like fucking around. Like to, playtime is playtime, but when it's time to do things where people devote time out of their day to show up, they expect to, learn something or build bonds with people. The whole, you know, idea of people trolling around, having soundboards and with the lizard, you know, soundboard, whatever you call it, that's
sure.
not something that we like when it's time to do ops and trainings. That's something that's why we have the pub servers for. After people can decompress in the pubs and hang out with their friends, or we have our Discord where people can shoot the shit. And I mean, we did start out as a chill sim in the beginning because when we all left 82nd, we kind of need to, you know, starting a new milsim was a lot more than we could chew. So we kind of had a laid back approach, try to build a foundation at the same time, but we didn't get to the immersive part and keep it realistic until after we did our first joint op with 506. Because I don't know if you ever spoke to them. They
Mm,
are they're good
absolutely.
group of guys.
Yep.
They
Yep.
are they are on their stuff. Like you know, they they're like us. I mean, we're like them. When it's time to play around, they can play around, but when it's time to do ops, they don't fuck around.
Yep.
So yeah, that's and it's also it helps to have people that in leadership billets that understand the assignment, um, to enforce the immersion as well. Because Lucalis and I can, if it's just two of us enforcing those rules, while out of 80 people, it's kind of hard to keep everyone in line. So it's great to have people underneath us that'll enforce those
Yeah.
policies.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you guys are taking ownership. I mean, you have a background in the real life 2-6, so Yeah, you guys, you kind of had to find your footing and kind of develop, the shape of things as you went along. But you guys have definitely congealed and come together, as a sizable, Milsim unit here. So I think it is a testament to, it's like everyone's got to start somewhere, and I think there's something to learn about that whole process. But yeah, having good leaders, having them present, and working with people, that's the thing, finding that good balance. It says a lot about what you guys got going on, and having the different pubs and the private servers, so that you guys can kind of actualize that. It gives people a lot of options. So, I can see how that could be attractive for people who are looking for that kind of, U.S. Marines MILSIM experience. So, what about the ops? Let's take a look, online here. What does your schedule look like, week by week? And let's say you got a new Marine, he's just coming into the unit. What can he expect once he gets in game?
So, someone that's interested in joining our unit, most time we'll either get them through Milsim Units, which is great. It has helped us a lot, or they would just randomly go into our, join our pub servers. They get to know the guys around us. We're not a big unit, so most time our pub servers only have like 15, 20 people there. So when we have we have linear conflicts, so it requires everyone to just attack one point instead of having like the option to attack any point you want. So they get to you know shoot enemies down range, get to hang out with the guys that are in the unit, get talk to them, and um, most time it convince the new guy that we have in our pub server to join our Discord, and if they're interested, they see our ads. They put an application, see what roles they're interested. I mean, what MOS they're interested in,
Hmm.
and after that, if my team sees that they're not a troll, or uh you know they're over 16, I mean under 16, they would go through our integration course, know basically the baseline of what we expect, what they should expect from each other. Then after that, if they go through our integration course, we place them in whatever platoon or company that their MOS is pertain to. After that, we try to keep it light with training and ops. So we didn't like the idea that we had to do trainings every day. We would like to alternate. So like Tuesdays and Thursdays, one week would be the trainings. Then we'd have either Friday or Saturday be the ops. But if we do, and we also, depending on, we like to structure things by month. So depending, how the shape of the unit, how good everyone is with, um, effective wise, we would do like a campaign storyline, op. We would do like, hey, we're gonna defend this town from the Russians, and while the civilians evacuate, and our, worst comes to worst, we fall back, and that'll be it. There would be no win for that op. Then the next, week, we would continue that campaign, saying, okay, we're being reinforced by the 24th Mu. We have air armor. We're going to take back what we lost, and take over the whole island, depending on what map we're on. But not. I mean, most of the time we want to focus on the pubs because we don't want to overwork people. Because on deployment, our first deployment we did, we realized that after 13 days straight of just continuous ops, people were kind of worn out by it.
Hmm.
So definitely our next deployment's only going to be like 5, 7 days long, because I would I would wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to you know go use the bathroom, and I see like 10, 15 people standing guard in our fob. I'm like, hey, go to sleep. But at the same time, we have people that are, they love the unit. They want to like simulate, what a deployment would be like. But
Sure. Yep.
we have to draw the line, like, to not overwork people.
Yeah, sounds like you got a grip on it. I mean, definitely, it can be a grind. When you go that far into it. I mean, I mean, you guys, you're nailing the tactical immersion, the tactical realism side of it, but you're also adding that strategic element with the storytelling and the kind of development of the mission set as you go. So, yeah, it's a lot to handle. And just again, having the options to the different servers and different kind of pub versus private ops. It's a lot to work with, but I mean at the same time, it's a lot to have fun with for those guys that want to kind of pick and choose what they want to do. So, what about the culture and camaraderie? I mean, you talked about, the foundation, the leadership coming together and making this a reality. What about, going down to the squad, to the platoon, or the platoons, I should say? What's it look like, for the guys, on the ground and on the line?
Well, in the Marine infantry platoon, there's 3 fire teams in a squad. So we like to see another thing we didn't like in our previous unit is, um, you'd be billeted or you'd be assigned to a team in a squad, but it was never enforced. So what we like to do is, if someone's a team lead and he's in charge of 4 people, we like to emphasize that they should spend time together. Same with the platoons, just, try to have them bond with each other. Um, you know, some Milsim units don't like the fact that they create their own Discord to talk to each other, but we don't care because it helps them feel um as if they're in a safe space to discuss things amongst each other. And they play games besides Arma most of the time. Like we have people that play Ready or Not or whatever spaceship game uh, requires them to work with each other in a ship. So culture's culture, I would say, is it's good. People. It's gone to the point where people know each other's real first names. Um, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't haven't seen an issue yet. But that's just me. But obviously, with the culture part, when you have 50 different personalities in one place, is it's you know not everyone's gonna like each other, and that's when you have to like kind of have to step in and be like, hey, you don't have to you know like each other, but at the end of the day, this is a unit that has a goal. You need to follow said goal, and um, raising your voice and all that stuff ain't really necessary either. And we try to, if someone is acting out of line, we like to either tell them like, hey, you gotta cut your act, or we process them out. We don't want to build a toxic culture,
Yeah.
and I expect them to say the same thing if I'm in a situation where I need to be held accountable.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You're right. You got a big mix there. It's a lot of personalities. I'm sure you guys have members from all around the world, all kind of different backgrounds. But the fact that you guys are on a first name basis, I mean, I think that's pretty good. Anytime you get online and people they're that comfortable, they can share personal information like that. It's definitely a positive sign. And yeah, there's probably going to be some guys who aren't quite that engaged or aren't quite that committed, that open. But the fact that that's a thing, and you guys got squads that are gelling and flowing and kind of doing their own thing there. It says a lot, and that's what we need to see more of. I've seen units come and go, kind of flash in the pan kind of thing, but it boils down to the people you got and whether or not they can come together, to work as a team and just chill as friends on the backside. So, can you, go into like something that stands out in your mind, like a particular moment or experience that you guys had in the unit? Whether it's a training event, combat op, maybe something in another game, or even off server. Funny, something unexpected, or something that really kind of defined the unit. What stands out in your mind in terms of a particular experience?
So I would say in the first day deployment, us being an amphibious force, we wanted to do a amphibious assault. So I told, we I don't know if you're familiar with Goglin map, but
Yeah.
so I basically we basically wanted them to storm the southern end of the map that was heavily fortified with LAVs, and we told them like you're gonna have all 12 of these LAVs storm the beaches and you know just take over the objective. Obviously, watching it from the GM view, they all got schwacked. All of them, all of them got burnt because LAVs aren't really strong.
Yeah.
They're kind
Yeah.
of weak.
Yep.
So I was just, I was like, wow, they got blown. But what I saw was when they all respawned, they all gathered around. They got our pilot to get the Sea Stallion, and they decided to take the helicopter and land, you know, 2 clicks away from the objective on the northern part, and just took that whole point over. And the fact that we didn't have to tell them that, we had a good guy that was in charge of the, all 30 people that were there, and they just thought outside the box after 2 months of training. I thought that was pretty awesome moment. But yeah, that's something that I was pretty happy to watch. Now, the funny part is we have this lore with the TRXs, the Ram TRXs, since we have that as a mod in our mod list.
Mm.
We had our SF guys. We had them out for tasking, saying like, "Hey, Russians took our TRXs from a cargo boat heading to England. They took the boat and took our TRXs. I need you guys to take those TRXs back. Need 3 of them at least." And we had 15 of them in a lot. And for some reason, one of the AIs decided to blow up a TRX, and it started like spreading fire, throughout the TRXs. And I was just watching overhead, and I saw the SF guys that we had. They're looking at each other, kind of confused, like, "Oh, what do we do?" And I just said over the radio, I'm like, "You better bring 3 TRXs, or you were gonna have an issue." And you just see them, scrambling around trying to get uh, the 3 TRXs out of 15 that were about to blow up with no tires, and they brought it back. They were beat up, but they did it. They're dedicated.
Yeah, that's pretty badass. I mean, the first time around, with the amphibious assault. I mean, yeah, Marines, they, being the first on the beaches, or at least making the first movement in a lot of cases. I mean, they take hits. I mean, it's part of the history, part of the real life lore. But the fact that they came together and kind of led themselves to find another way in and to take that objective. I mean, yeah, that's what you want to see, what you expect from the Marines in real life, and definitely what you hope for when you're trying to recreate that in a mill sim. But yeah, so Arma, it doesn't it doesn't matter which title, which version you're on. The lore of just the Arma bugginess and all the shit that can go wrong with the AI and everything else. It's something that you got to experience, but yeah, it's something that can make or break a person or a unit when you're overcoming those challenges. So, some great insights, great stories there. Definitely what I like to hear, from up and coming units and those guys that are, kind of expanding and growing into the future. So on that note, we've talked a lot already about what you guys have faced and what you've accomplished and overcome since forming up 2-6. Can you tell us about some of the other challenges you faced? Running a unit, leading all these people, keeping it together. What's some insights that you can share that others can learn from?
Oh, I have a lot. Um,
Loaded
so
question.
Yes, it is. It's gonna be a loaded answer. So, first one is y- dealing with many personalities. Myself, I doing in real Marine Corps. You know, you, everyone was from different parts of America, um, but everyone acted differently, personality wise. But at the end of the day, they had a UCMJ over their heads where if they did go out of line, they would get in trouble. But in the Milsim, where it's a volunteer group or thing, you know, people can kind of act rude and kind of get out of line and not have to worry about repercussions because at the end of the day, we could just kick them out of the unit if they're out of line. But it doesn't help that when they do go out of line, it discourages other people from staying in the unit because because people are butting heads, egos are being lifted, and difference. People have different insights to certain things. Like that is a challenge trying to get people to cool off when they're arguing as well. Uh, like I know myself and Lucalis, we have different views on certain things, but at the end of the day, we understand that like we have a common goal is to make a unit where people can feel comfortable like coming to spend time out of their days after a whole day of being in the outside world. um, that's one. Now
Mm,
the second one is recruitment. So uh, like we understood before we opened up this unit that a marine unit usually tends to die pretty fast because in the army world, all people want to do is army because army's pretty easy to understand from what I've understood. Um, but like not a lot of Marine units are out there because no one wants to just do amphibious assaults or be MARSOC. They want to be a Navy SEAL or ODA, paratrooper. So recruitment, on average, we would get about 4 applications a week, 4 or 5 applications a week, but only two of them stick.
mm,
Because after they, do a LAV bounding or they do we do things where they go through IC and it's kind of similar to like boot camp. Some of them tend to kind of be discouraged from it, which it's fine. But you know, but we don't really get a lot of traction from the Arma community because Marines. Now, if we were, but we kind of understood that. Personally, I wanted to start 2-6 because I came from 2-6 and there wasn't a lot of Marine units. Um, yeah. So what's the third one? Oh man, it was out of my mind. Uh, oh yes, just this. No, no, no. I think that's it. Just one and two. Yeah, just two.
yeah. Well, I mean, you said a lot. I mean, yeah, definitely kind of managing those personalities. You gotta, that's the thing. You gotta encourage some people, and you gotta kind of cut some other people, to make it a reality on that larger scale there. But yeah, a balance as always, ups and downs, and good leaders. They got to set the example and manage the tone to make that possible. But the other point on recruiting and retention, I mean, I think that's a fair point, in particular about Arma being oriented towards the Army. You're right. I mean, definitely there are a lot of SOCOM units, and some of them come and go pretty quick. Everybody wants to be, high speed, low drag, but um, it's hard in real life. It's hard in the Armorverse as well. But yeah, there are definitely a lot more armor units. I think Marine units. It's kind of a specialty. And you're right. There are a lot of great island maps, a lot of great water maps. But amphibious warfare, it is as much as the Marines are SOCOM capable, it is kind of a specialty in its own right. So you got to be either from that kind of background, that experience, or you got to want it. I personally, I've been in Army mil sims. I think the Marines are cool. I think amphibious ops is cool. The Army does it too. So I mean, you can have a lot of fun depending on who you're rolling with. But yeah, some great points. That's something to consider for your other unit leaders out there, people who are thinking about starting their own Milsim. We've gone into some pretty complicated matters here in terms of to making it successful long term. So some good shit. Now, I'm curious. You mentioned you had a joint op with the 506. You guys have you're pretty good and broad outreach, across the Milsim community, modding and otherwise. Can you tell us how you interact with the community as a whole? I mean, not just potential recruits, but other units. I'm curious to learn what you guys got going on in your comms.
So, for community wise, I mean, there's different types of conglomerates with our Milsim community, as you know.
Sure.
Like 75th, they have their own like alliance with the other Milsim units. And so is uh, like 82nd. They have a NATO, community. We decided to form our own community because it's called the 12th Joint Task Force, and um, because when we did form this unit, a lot of people from 82nd were not happy about us making this unit because when Lucalis and I left, a lot of people followed, and
Mm,
you know, people from the NATO community try to accuse us of poaching, stealing documents, and you know, there was never any uh, evidence of us poaching people. People just, when people want to play games with people they like, they're gonna follow them.
mm,
We just told them like, hey, we're jumping ship. They said, oh, where? And they followed us. Documents. Um, I didn't know that stealing, taking, or copying spreadsheets was a crime until we got those charges. But more, um, then they try to accuse us of taking documents for training documents from 82nd, but we're a Marine unit. What would we do with Army doctrine? So they kind of blacklisted us from most of the units that were under the NATO branch. So we decided to form our own community. So it's called 12th JTF. We have alliance with 5th Special Forces Group, 160 SOR, 38th SFG, and that's so the idea of that is, if someone's doing a deployment or an op and they need more people, that unit would text the other units like, hey, we're planning on doing this op. Could you guys come? We would come in, fill up the numbers. So it's, a little bit more immersive instead of having 12 guys doing an op that's supposed to be for 50.
mm,
So it's a community that just helps each other. Like with pub servers, if they need more activity and on a certain day, we'll just hop in and play for a few hours, just so they can get traction from you know random people in the Arma community. But 506, it's we are partnered with them. Uh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we are partnered with them. It's one of those things where they were hesitant of us in the beginning because we had that whole spiel with 82nd, and they were a little hesitant. But after we did our op with them, uh, streamed by Jester, they enjoyed us, and we've been doing trainings every now and then, joint trainings, joint ops. But it's more of like us not trying to separate ourselves from other communities. We just like to, if if people need you know more people to do ops or run ops with them, we'll do it. Like this deployment, we invited people from Shadow Company. We invited people from 38th to join us, so they could see. what our version of a deployment looks like. They had a blast.
Yeah, that's good shit. I mean, it's always a shame when you have discord. I mean, no pun intended, between units. I've seen it before where a certain element, a squad, a platoon, whatever, kind of separates from another unit and forms their own thing. But leaders, and I've spoken with some in particular who recognize that as much as that hurts or as disappointing as that can be for a unit or a unit leader, it's a testament to their success that they were able to train and develop and kind of bring up other people to the point where they can basically do the same thing or at least a similar thing of what they got going there. So yeah, I mean, kind of taking your own route there, pursuing the experience that you guys want to have, and then finding other units to make that a reality. I mean, it says a lot. That's what it takes to run a successful milsim, particularly, yeah, when you guys are not only run your own servers but getting on other unit servers as well. So it's good shit. It's what we need to see more of, more collaboration, more fun together. So, let's take it forward to 2026, a year from today. Let's say we're getting to the end of summer next year. What do you want to see in 26? I mean, where do you guys want to be at that time?
On average, I would love to see our pub servers at least have 40 to 50 people on average. Right now, I would say 20 to 25 people average in the pub servers, and um, just get more activity. And like right now, we have three, four companies. One company for the infantry, one company for the corpsmen, which is our medics, one company for support, which is our air wing and tankers and mortar T. Surprisingly, people enjoy just driving trucks in the Milsim. So it's like, okay. Then we have the other company, which is our S shops and our Marsoc platoon. So what I would love to see is, three platoons in the infantry, as we only have one. Um, just do more, just be more, a little bit more organized in the campaigns. Um, like you probably understand, running a milsim is pretty hard and it's time consuming,
Hmm.
and trying to get people to take time out of their day to build the op board or campaign can be a little hard because in real life does come first, and that's something that we stand by. But we just need a little bit more. We just need more people to join and contribute, because just because you're a new guy doesn't mean we won't give you the opportunity to build missions, because you might have a great idea to for an op that people would love to do, and we wouldn't be uh we wouldn't discourage people from doing that.
Hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, definitely. You need people to take ownership. But I mean, again, you guys kind of, like I said before, kind of found your own way, hit the ground running, and made it a success. So, yeah, growing and developing, seeing that kind of, that combined arms action, where the unit is full and it's really thriving. That's the dream. So. Yeah, you guys obviously you're growing. You got room for more people to come in and get involved. So, if to our audience, if you're interested in Marine Corps MilSim, if you want to get in and learn, and if you got some talents that you want to contribute, here's your invitation because it's like Naz has said here. It takes different people. They all got to contribute, and they got to want it. It seriously as a leader, retired leader, but nonetheless, running a milsim is like a part-time job. It's not something you can just do on your phone, a couple minutes here and there throughout the day. It takes investment, it takes commitment, it takes relationship, and many hands lighten the load. So yeah, um, yeah, I wish you luck as you move into 2026 and kind of get your leadership team, up and running at the next level. So, what about Milsim as a whole? Obviously, there's been a lot of buzz. We've talked about it here on the podcast. Arma 4, we're getting closer to that projected 2027 release date. We got some other titles that are, up and coming. Bellum's under development. We've seen a lot, in recent, weeks and months about, that project. What do you want to see? What's 2.6's hope for Milsim in the future? Like, if you could make a wish, what would it be?
Oh, I mean, the wish is to still be here for Arma 4.
Mm,
That's always the dream. I mean, we're planning on doing that. It doesn't matter how we get there, but I mean, obviously, we want to do it in the right way. Not a. We hope, like Lucalis and myself, we hope we're the same people by the time Arma 4 comes up. Um, but in the meantime, we're planning on, when Battlefield 6 opens up, we plan on having a server there, so you know we can have our guys in our unit play Battlefield 6 with each other. And if people, that from the outside do join our server in Battlefield 6, they want something more immersive, they want something more tactical where they work with other people, they can come find us in our unit in the Discord and play with us on Arma as well. Bellium, that's not something we've really discussed about, but it's definitely something we do want to dive into. But at the end of the day, like, you know, I I have a real life. I have a job, and a lot of people in the community have jobs. It's kind of hard to try to put your hand in all the pots. So we kind of understand that our limits
mm.
with the Milsim community. But yeah, and did you ask me about what my dreams are?
Yeah, I mean, just if it's like it's kind of corny, but yeah, if you could make a wish, I mean, what do you want to see in Milsim? I mean, yeah, I get it, kind
Oh,
of
yeah,
limiting
yeah,
your focus, sticking to certain platforms, but if you could like see anything in the future of Milsim gaming, I mean, what would it be?
future of Milsim gaming. Uh, Honestly, it's just we need we just need a platform where everyone can just like if every Milsim community can just be in and not be one-sided and can all just kind of have a common goal of just having a Milsim community that works well with each other and there's no like personal grievances with each other because the more I've been in this Milsim community, the more I realize that there's other units out there that just do not like the idea of working with other units.
Hmm.
Like it's a game. We should all be we should all learn to you know play stuff with each other. Like you know having 120 people in a server, um, that in a tactical fashion is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I mean it is a unique opportunity when it goes well. I mean it is a wonderful thing to experience. Just all the years I've been in Milsim gaming. Yeah, it's a real challenge. I mean, not just for a unit, but for everybody, and that's something that we're focused on at Milsim Units. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the platform, the Discord, the website, everything we got going on, join ops, and our contests. It's about bringing people together and allowing them opportunities, more opportunities to have fun, in game and out. And that's I mean that's what I want to see. It's what we all want to see. And the staff and everybody else involved with the platform. So yeah, definitely I can relate to that 100%. Um, Now, for you personally, what do you think is the best part of Milsim? I mean, you talked about your start, how you got involved with 2.6 and where you're going with the unit. What is it about Milsim that keeps you coming back, in spite of the work and the challenges you guys got to overcome?
Um, well, that's a loaded question again. So first one is you know me being veteran, I can like kind of I can talk to my other veteran counterparts and yeah, and it doesn't have to be something about the game. It could just be, us real life. Like I can shoot, you know, talk about them about my time in the field, and they can, say their perspective about their time in the field. And you know, most of them are Army. I'm kind of the odd man out in a Marine Milsim, but it's just fun to just build bonds with people I've never met in real life just by a story from veteran to veterans. The For in general, I enjoy it because I get to see, you know, guys from anywhere from 16 years old to shoot, we even have a 58-year-old. Um, none of them are prior military or in the service, and you give them a couple training sessions on how to be effective as a Marine, and they literally live by it, and they all work together. That's pretty awesome to see.
Mm.
Like just looking overhead, they're all working together well, and you get because we have and people are working well from other sides of the country. We literally have a Turkish guy. He never spoke. He barely spoke any English. Now he speaks like an American just from hanging out with us. It's pretty cool to see people, grow.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's another testament to leadership. That doesn't just happen by itself. I mean, the internet's a big place. A lot of people can come together, but in light of the struggles people have, different personalities, egos, language barriers for that matter. It takes some work, some investment, some real commitment to make that happen and to really foster those friendships. So that's good shit. I mean, keep it coming. And definitely, I mean, I can relate to the whole thing about the best part of Milsom being the community, but the people, the relationships that you develop there. So definitely you've highlighted on a lot of really crucial points. So, with that in mind, what would be your dream op? Let's say you could design any mission, Arma Reforger, or any other platform. If you were going to put your best, mind to work, putting something together on server, what would it look like?
I would love to just have a like a 3-day op in Kunar,
Hmm.
but as you know, Kunar is a very very unprepared, or it just has too many issues going on with that map.
Hmm.
Just doing a deployment in Kunar would satisfy me in the Milsim community.
Yeah, I mean, you could have fun there, definitely. I mean, depending on the story writing and the what you do in Game Master. Yeah, I mean, this sounds like fun to me. At least the opportunities are very wide and divergent there. So who
Well,
knows?
whenever the map gets better and we do deployment, I'll invite you and you can spend the night with us.
Yeah, that'd be badass, man. Definitely. I mean, I want to see what they got in store for that map. The future is wide open, so definitely. Now, what about traditions or rituals? I like to talk to unit commanders about what they've got that's unique to their unit, and being a Marine Corps unit, I'm sure 2-6 is no exception. What can you share with us in terms of some of that kind of like the inner story of the culture you got going?
Um, well, you know how in the army, well, you've been in army units, right?
Right.
Like you
Yep.
said.
Yep.
So you know how before you step off for a mission, you scream Irene, Irene.
Sure. Yeah, we didn't do that a lot myself in third ID, but sure, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah. Well, before we step off for a mission, we say crayons, crayons,
Actually, yeah.
and
I was gonna say we played some Marine Fun Ops. I've definitely I've heard that from some of our former Marine Corps guys that were in the third ID.
okay, I guess I'm nothing special. But another
No, no,
thing we
that's
have too
awesome.
is no, I'm kidding. But another thing we have is if someone we have this new policy where if people are kind of talking out of line or kind of disrespectful to someone, we have this saying called crayons. So that's supposed to stop someone from, continuously disrespecting someone, kind of have them reassess what they're doing.
Mm. So that's pretty
And if
good.
someone, yeah, and if someone gets promoted, whenever we do trainings, we have them against a wall and shoot them.
Excuse me. I was gonna say, yeah, crayons. That's pretty good. Like I said, you're kind of taking that, that real life, kind of humor and making something productive out of it, whether you get started or bringing somebody back into line mid mission. But yeah, I mean, the firing line, that's a perennial favorite. Some units, maybe not so much. Definitely some of the promotees, but good stuff. I mean, again, it shows like kind of the lighter side. You guys are professional, but you guys, can have a good time at the same kind of moment there. So, good shit. I appreciate that kind of inside perspective there. Now, I got to ask, and this is one of the perennial favorites of the podcast here. Your Marine Corps unit, so I'm curious to see where this is going to go. But let's say you guys were going to Hollywood, and you were going to be on the silver screen. Which military movie or miniseries or TV show do you think best captures the spirit of 2-6?
Oh man, that's a good one. His Generation Kill,
Mm,
yeah, because a lot of waiting around and people just fuck around, but at the end of the day, they can they're effective at their jobs. Guess that's what I would say.
mm. That's pretty good. And it's a great series as well. So definitely, I'm sure a lot of our listeners are familiar with it. If not, check it out, man. At least take a look at some of the clips that are online. If you don't actually see the miniseries, so yeah, that's a good one. And you're right. It goes back to that balance between just chilling together, have a good time, and then getting out of business when it comes to it. So let's say you're on server here and you were loading up. For you personally, as an XO, whether you're running and gunning or you're back in GM, either way, what's some of the kit you can't operate with? What do you have to have in your loadout?
What do I need my loadout? I wear the ACH helmet, the old ACH helmet.
Mm,
No one else does it,
mm,
or no one else wears it. Like the old mid 2000 helmets with the camo cover over it.
yep, absolutely.
That's something I operate with, but no one in my unit wants to wear it because they like the high cuts. And we went through a whole couple days without being able to see your name tags, and everyone noticed it was me right away because of the helmet.
That's kind of funny. Yeah, I guess it was that more of a matter of style or just kind of tradition, or why do you choose the ACH?
Stockholm syndrome. You wear it in real life so long, it's kind of hard to change the helmet.
Yeah, old habits. It
Yeah,
was a
old
good
hat.
helmet. I mean, yeah, it's like yeah, the high cuts. I mean, definitely if you're wearing a headset, I get it, but no, it doesn't. They don't quite cover. They don't cover those ears as well. So if you're taking artillery fire, or even grenade shrapnel, whatever the case may be. There's something to be said about that better coverage. But yeah, that's a good one. So it's kind of interesting to see, what you want to carry in the field. So we talked about, the community, what you want to see here, the good, the bad, the ugly, the challenges of bringing people together. And I talked about what we're aiming to be and accomplish here on the platform, and it's really it's a matter of other unit leaders, other unit members, the whole community coming in and kind of sharing, their own kind of perspectives and their own strengths with us. to make it happen. So, with all that in mind, I always want to ask our unit leaders, how's your experience with Milsim units been? What's helped the unit, and what can we do more or better to improve our platform here?
Well, my experience with Milsim units have been very helpful because you guys have a unit to unit recruiter talk where you can like find out who's the bad apple that you don't want joining your unit. You know, obviously you don't want to just hear, you don't want to believe everything everyone's saying, but kind of gives you like a guideline, like okay, maybe he is a troll. Let's just keep an eye on him. Uh, having our unit advertised is pretty nice. I mean, we do ask people like, how did you find out about us? They most people say Milsim Units.
Hmm.
Whether if it's through your website or through the Discord, it's pretty nice to have. So I won't say that it doesn't work.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, that's a
The one thing I will say is just have combat camera.
Mm, yeah, that would be good. I mean, like I said, that's we're trying to bring out the best in people. And yeah, it's we've got some trolls, as a mod, working with our staff here. We've had to cut some of the fat, over the months and the past year, to weed out those bad eggs. But like I said earlier in the podcast here, many hands lighten the load. So the more good people that we have here, the more people who are committed to, to having a positive experience and just, getting into the fun of it and not just dealing with the drama and all the bullshit that comes along, with some communities online. That's what we're aiming for, and that's what it's all about. So I appreciate your feedback. Whatever we can do to help, we definitely want to keep comms open, two ways so that we can work together and, make your vision, your dreams for 2.6 a reality. And, it's been a pleasure working with you and Lucalis. You guys have a good presence on the Discord and our website. So we're looking forward to to kind of sharing and all the things to look forward to here. So much appreciated having you with us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, man. I mean, it literally shows that you guys just helping us out. I mean, helps you guys.
Yeah, it's a win-win, seriously, and that's what we like to see. So. Now, definitely, we covered a lot here. This has been a good discussion. I've learned a lot, and I know our audience has as well. But is there anything that we haven't talked about from 2.6? I mean, if there's one thing that you want people to know about the unit that we haven't discussed, what would it be?
Well, I'm not going to say that our unit's the best. I mean, no unit um, will be great. I mean, no unit's perfect, but you know, one thing that uh, we try to do is, listen to feedback and correct it if need be. Like, we understand that there's a difference between a complaint and a concern. People just complain to complain. If there's a genuine concern, we listen to it. Like one thing Lucalis and I like to do is, you know, we don't always want to act like we're high command all the time. Like sometimes I just join trainings as a regular Marine and just run as a machine gunner or rifleman, just to, you know, I don't just to be with them. I don't want everyone to think that just because I'm at a certain status of the unit doesn't mean I can't, you know, be with the guys and shoot rounds down range. But I mean, if people are interested in joining us, just join our pub server and get to know the guys that are in our unit, and if you like them, you know, try consider joining our unit. Obviously, veterans they don't have to go through our integration course because you know kind of get an idea. But for the non-veterans, they just have to show up to an integration course, which we hold twice a week for like an hour. It's not like a 4 hour long. course that you have to go sit through and hear someone ramble forever. It's kind of clear cut, easy. Then after that, hopefully they like it. The Can't really promise great things if people, not everyone's gonna like 2.6, which we understand. Just want to focus on quality, not quantity.
Hmm. Well, that's outstanding. I mean, like I said, you guys got a lot going for you. I'm looking forward to seeing what the future has in store for 2.6 as you move forward in Arma Reforger and beyond into Arma 4. Definitely looking forward to it. So, Naz, it's been great having you with us here on the podcast here tonight. I'm going to put links in our podcast description below. So we'll have your Discord there. We'll have your milsimunits.com profile page as well. Let's say somebody wants to get involved, they're looking to join up. You mentioned getting on the pubs. What's the best way to get in touch with you if somebody's got questions or they want to get in touch with the community?
Oh, most definitely. I'll definitely reach out. Yeah, if there's any questions that you guys have for us, let us know.
All right, absolutely. So, yep, ladies and gents, check those links below. Take a look at 2.6 Marines here. If future is wide open, it's a pleasure having units like this involved with Milsim units, involved with the Armorverse and everybody else that we got here in the greater community. So, good shit. Lieutenant Colonel, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for joining us here.
Thank you, sir. I hope you have a nice weekend.
Absolutely. All right, ladies and gents. So another great podcast here at milsimunits.com. We got more in the works. Definitely, I'll be back with some more unit leaders and other personalities in the Milsim community. So until next time, this is C. Brock signing off.